Formula Creator Round 1 kick-starting here today. It's Bahrain. Who knows how it will unravel. We've got quite a few new names from last week. Last week also Louis was in the Ferrari. This time out he's in Sauber alongside me. So, let's just go balanced allocation. Take the easy route through this 18-minute quali, 50% race. Hopefully nothing too shabby about that. But yeah, anyways, there's a 3% chance of rain. Let's go. I am gonna go straight out on track, I think, actually. Check pressures. I'm gonna up tyre pressures. Just for sake of managing tyres. Well, out we come to start our championship campaign. We've got Thomas James, who's a familiar name from Riptide Racing League through the battles I've had with him in the final two events of their season 2 just gone. We've got Tom Jota, who sat on the podium and was the only driver apart from myself to lead in the season opener, even though it was only for 3 laps. Then we have the infamous Max Perrin. He is a big threat on his day, but other times he just sits there in P5, just like in the pre-season event. Louis joins me in the Sauber after a shift from Ferrari as his teammate departed. We have F1 Nico now slotting into that Ferrari, with Mumbo Jumbo now having a teammate of Regang. And then Kinger still in the Williams. He says he's had more practice from last week. He said he should be facing about 130s here at Bahrain. However, pole lap probably looking at a 27.5, I'd say. That's me just putting a number to the board. It could be plus or give or take half a second. X Get Jinxed has joined. Don't know who they are, but just trust they don't join the race. Well, on our hot lap now, we have Louis just up the road. Let's see what we can do. Every car's on track for the first time this season. We will have 11 cars all sharing the circuit. It's a personal best for the league. Of course, pre-season we only had 8. Here today we will have just 3 more, but enough to have half a grid full. Despite that, working our way around on a hot lap, experimenting with a setup I really rushed together over the weekend with my one-day grace, Thomas James 128.7, to go to the top in the early dawn of qualifying. F1 Nico 127.8. He looks like a big threat for now, as he says, quote unquote, he's new to F1. It's already a stonking lap for the Newman. Anyways, I come out of the final corner heading up to the line now, and it's a 28.4 splitting the top two. F1 Nico still a long way up the road. Regang in 5th, Louis in 4th. Tom Jota goes quicker than me. I've clearly had a poor lap here in Bahrain. I'm finding a good 2/10 or so going through the middle sector. There's Louis letting me by, as I'm really just letting Mumbo Jumbo drag me along here. Well, he's also on a flyer. Finished middle sector purple of the bunch. That's just a question, can I perfect the final corner? This corner is going to be make or break for my lap here. It's been done well, but not as good as it could have been. As over line, it's a 28.1, 2/10 off F1 Nico. And I will back off. Well, that's a half decent first run. Shows we do have pace, but doesn't look like we are as dominant as we were in the season, well, pre-season in Monza. Here we are slightly off that form as we currently sit in second, as there's much more competition than there was only a week ago. What has Louis just sent? I've been told to join a VC. I won't, just for the sake of this stream, and I'll be working on my own, even though I do have a teammate. A bit egoistical, but it could go one way or the other. Anyways, in our pit box, currently second quickest on track. It's an okay first run. As I'll be brutally honest, I think we could go better. We know that we can go better through the pace we had in Monza. Am I even live? Yes I am. Just not appearing on my YouTube. Well, can we drop pressures? Yes we can. I'll drop pressures back down just for quality. Really try and get every bit of performance out of the car. And out we will go again. It's now a really big question. What's the pace around the field? F1 Nico currently still in his garage. Good opportunity for us to do something and so go back towards the top of the timing. To be fair, we're already at the foreground as Thomas James goes for another run in the Alpine. We're behind a second McLaren now. What I'll do is try and get past him, or he'll just ghost away. He's now just faded behind us, but I will not take that as a hold up. More than anything, I'll take that as a win. What I'll do is probably compare my tyre wear at the end of this run to my previous one. However, I'll only be doing one lap, so there's going to be a bit more bias. Louis has left the session. Now just hoping that isn't him. Out for quali and the race as well. Okay, I'm slower with lower pressures, so I'll just return to the pits. Give Louis another invite so he can rejoin. Okay, so note to self, increase your tyre pressures. But yeah, let's go out now. Hopefully we can get 2 runs in, which is the aim. Currently, Tom splits me and Nico at the front end. He's still 27.8. Tom Jotta's fastest lap. He seems like he's in a poor position due to this lap and next lap, both being invalidated. Seeing if parasol's on yet. Well, it looks like my teammate will be out for the remainder of the event. His Ethernet cable has failed and his Wi-Fi, so he said he won't race due to the fact he will keep disconnecting. Therefore, yeah, I'm on my own. This first lap, just getting up to speed, getting a bit more tyre temp in, and then we'll go for a proper flyer at the end of the session, when the time remaining is very minimal. Big question is how I lose 4 tenths in the space of 3 corners. Is probably due to the wings of my setup, meaning Nico is just gifted in the final sector. Max Perrin has retired from session. As now it's my final chance to do something. It's been a fairly bang average first sector here. However, big improvement at the end of it. Finding good 3 temps into the pits goes Nico, meaning I'm practically guaranteed to move up the pecking order, as Tom Jotta does not find improvement here. Purple in the middle, going through the final sector now, finding a tiny bit of time. I personally do not think it's enough time though, as I've gone slightly wide out of the final corner. I'm losing it all now down that final straight, and it's only 3rd. I've bottled a pole attempt in the final corner. and therefore I'll be third on the grid. Well, it's mighty close, that's all I can say. It being only about half a tenth in it. Someone has clicked Monaco setup instead of Bahrain, so they will be racing here max downforce. That will be fun to watch. Let's go with this. It's ballsy. Looks like I'm on the preferred strategy, but however, snake hunt on the hards, F1 Nico on the soft, snake hunt already breaking formation lap procedures here. And that will be penalty points going his way post event. As there's two cars still going through the stage of letting go of the clutch and leaving the line. Unless that was collision between the two. Nico, he's probably going to win in longevity. He will have the quicker tyres in the later stints, but in the early stages it will probably be me, Tom Jotta and Thomas James all going at it head to tail. Tom Jotta getting a bit wobbly, going off track in fact. But anyways, now all heading up to the start finish line here. Temps are quite low. Some big swells there just to get a bit more kinetic energy in. And there we go. It says green, but it was purple on my thing. But yeah, we are only getting ready for the start. Regang said it was purple middle sector just due to the high downforce. But 5 red lights here in Bahrain, and it's away we go into turn 1. Louis as the AI will get a really good start. A typical AI thing to do here, as I've been clipped down the inside by Mumbo Jumbo, and therefore I've just had to give Thomas James the squeeze. Off goes Haas of Jedi Tom Jota in a really good position to get a very early lead here in Bahrain. But it's not on my wish list that Tom Jota gets this early of a lead, as round goes a Williams in the background. As now it's a matter of fact, how close can I get to the rear end of the V-carb and how likely I can overtake them. As it looks like it's going to be a 3-horse race, or at least 4-horse, as Thomas James just hanging on, as myself and Tom Jota beginning to check out until he's gone round, and that's put me with front wing damage and a fair bit of tyre wear as well. So I really am not happy with that, but that's just racing for you. Now it's a question, what recovery drive can I pull off here? Of course, now having to try and defend Tom Jota. It's not my setup, mate. I've literally just had an incident in sector 3 last lap, and it's a fairly high downforce setup. So I don't think it's set up. It's more driving style, heat of circuit, so many factors in this game. But yeah, very much disappointed with the start procedure, as the Ferrari can get a little pull away in the early stages. Really good for his sake. Regain quite promising pace, even though on the so-called Monaco setup here, as Mumbo Jumbo and Regang either side of the Alpine. F1 Nico fastest lap. I will take that, even though having a very much demoralised start to lap 2, as up into P5 I go. As there's a bit of contact, Regang now moving up into P2, as that whole second to fourth equation flips on its head, just right in front of me. As Mumbo Jumbo down the inside of Thomas James, the McLaren up into 3rd, as it's purple sector 1 for me again. Mumbo Jumbo goes off, I take to a fair bit of curb, and poke my nose down the inside of Thomas James. Going to put him right up against the curb. Now just time to try and punch a hole in the air. There's a big gap forming at the fore end of the field. Not good for anyone's bid of catching, as the two McLarens really now going to begin squabbling, one with a lot higher downforce than the other, being at the foreground of this train. Mumbo Jumbo to the inside of Regang. I've gone a bit heavy on my brakes, a bit late, and let's give him a little push. That's up into P3, get another dose of the toe, and I'll just take DRS off the McLaren of Mumbo Jumbo. Now time to go foot to the floor again. DRS in play. Gonna send it down the inside. Give the McLaren a little push for good measure. And up into P2 I go. It's a recovery drive and a half in this season opener. as we're only halfway through my first stint. In reality, tyres really through the roof. As possibly changing the strategy to an even more ambitious two-stop could be in favour. As off goes Tom Jota. You know what, let's do it. We're gonna go very late on brakes due to trying to pit. Into the pits we come. It's going to be mediums for this second stint, try and extend it a further 3 laps just so then I'm somewhat on par with the hards come to the final stint. May mean I'll face a bit more trouble in the latter stages of this run, but it's worth it for now. As there's my teammate who is AI in P8, Kinger in his own dreamland back there. So far back I could pit and not be threatened by him, but Tom Jota will come out behind. A tad more damage, not much I can do there. But now let's just power on in this second stint of the race. It says pit lap 14. Let's give it a shot, shall we? We'll mean 15 laps on the hards. I could probably push it an extra lap if need be. But for now, the primary stint will be lap 14. This strategy call of mine puts me in clean air, out of dirty air, keep tyres fairly cool, and allows me to do some push laps on these mediums as I try and get myself closer to the Ferrari in front. Green sector 1. Good start to the stint. But yeah, a bit of wing damage doesn't hurt Thomas James working his way backwards as Snake Hunter's hards are somewhat coming to life just behind the two McLarens. I'm really struggling through that turn 10, probably due to the slight wing damage which I have on my car, but it's 2 personal best sectors to start my first, in a way, flyer of the stint. In comes a McLaren and an Alpine, so possibly they are feeling a bit threatened by my early stop. It's Regang and Thomas James to be exact. And now let's just push, drop that to 63%. I'll be clear of them both come leaving the pit lane. I was told Regang's a smart driver, but he wasn't smart enough to, in a way, stay in this equation, and based off my pace I should be right up behind F1 Nico if he was to pit this lap. So this race is a completely open book. It's not the best of laps, probably because I've just gave it my all on my first hot lap. I'm also pulling away from Regang, and Thomas James is somewhat reeling himself into that McLaren. So it looks like my pace is strong enough to keep myself in a comfortable position for the time being, as I'm only 4/10ths off my fastest lap of the race. At Bahrain, it's literally first lap or nothing with your tyres. If you don't go fastest in your first lap, you're going to struggle a lot throughout the rest of your stint in order to try and beat your fastest lap. So it's a full push scenario to start this stint off, and I kind of succeeded with fastest lap on lap 5, I think it was. Lap 6. Max Perrin just up the road, he's only about 4 seconds up, but I'll be honest with you, them mediums are going to start falling away. He's probably going to start considering pitting over the next lap or two, as Jedi is a bit further up the road. As into the pits comes Mumbo Jumbo. Snake Hunter on the hards, of course. He's going to be on the quicker tyres in the latter stages, whereas we will be more scrambling over like hards. Well, he's on like the softs and mediums. I'm a long shot ahead of Mumbo Jumbo, and I'll be honest, that's probably was his gap to the leader, which I've now pulled. So give me another lap or two and I should be right with him. But based off how it's going for F1 Nico, possibly looking at a one stop for the Ferrari. If so, I may need to get a little bit of a wiggle on, as they say, as I am now very close to getting inside the DRS range of Max Perrin. Let him pull me along for the start-finish straight. Would be very nice if I can get that move done by the end of the first sector, just so I don't get held up on my pursuit. In comes Nico, so he's looking at the two-stop. Unless he's going to try and gamble the hards 20 odd laps. Looking around the outside of Max Perrin, looks like he's going to peel into the pits, as I will power on for another lap. Out comes Nico, he's on the hards, and I am clear of him. Thomas James fastest lap of the race, however, 31.4, probably burning throughout that lap, as that was a mighty lap for the Alpine on the mediums. Yellow flags for Kinga, as now Snake Hunter leads here. Nico probably trying to do a one stop or pitting very close to the end for a set of softs, and if that is what he does, he will be mighty scary at the end of this race. Still just chipping away at Snake Hunter little by little. My main objective is just try and maintain my gap over the Ferrari on the hards behind. If I can keep that over a second by the time I pit on about lap 15, I think I am set up very nicely for this race. let's just keep my head down for a few laps. So sorry if there is quite a lack of conversing between me and you lot in the chat. But that Ferrari looks a lot more lively. I'm not going to stand a chance at staying out of the RS range against him. So I'll just have to be let him by, follow him through, and then do another undercut. Then try and get track position and defend. I'm somewhat matching Thomas James's pace, so that's slightly more reassuring, even though I've got to defend the Ferrari behind. It's a sliver of hope at that P2 is probably where I'd want to be come the finish. It also set me up for a really good season, winning pre-season, and then having a rocky bit of form in Bahrain, having an incident with Tom Jota in the early laps after he made contact with the man I'm defending at the moment, got wing damage, been coping with that since lap 2 or whatever, pitted a few laps early because of how toasted my tyres were, and now just pacing myself around this circuit, trying to defend and park the bus, as I only have to do it for 2 more laps. I'm going to stick to what the strategist says, just as it's not looking pretty at all, as through goes Ferrari. Didn't really defend. And now it's time to let him pull me along a bit. As Kinger about to get lapped by your provisional leader and provisional second, him having a moment on the exit of turn 8. I'm not going to stay in DRS for much longer. I'll probably give it the end of this lap and then it will be Nico running off. That Ferrari is honestly rapid. As he makes a mistake there, car steps out and he goes wide. Do I give it another lap? What's tyres looking at? Yeah, I'll probably pit this time round. I'll make the decision come final corner, really based off my gap to the Ferrari. Closer it is to 2 seconds, the more likely I am to do it, just because I'll be in more favourable undercut range. Just have to bear in mind he will be on the softs in the final stint. So there will be difficulty in holding him back. So the longer I leave this, arguably the better the condition I'm in. as off goes Kinger, as he yields a lap to Nico. As he currently does not proceed to get out of the way, he's gone wide. I'm going to go to the inside and slam his door shut. Let's go chuck it in the pit, shall we? In we come, 50 miles an hour, and now let's see how much damage that's done. Jedi currently in 6th. I won't be surprised if I'm in a bit of clean air behind him. Hards come on, mediums go off. Looks like I'll also be clear of the speed demon in Williams, Max Perrin. If there's a safety car, which I highly doubt it based off the way this race has gone, 15 laps, absolute clean drive from the whole field, apart from a few rough and tumbles. Who knows? Tom J typing in general while he's in the box, and he went, I'm not happy at all now, for fuck's sake. So yeah, he's had a frustrating race. I've had a fairly frustrating race, but gone too good with how strategies played out, my gaps, my pace in general, being able to hang on about 5 seconds clear of the Alpine. And that's just a question as to when Nico pits and how much quicker Nico will be when he pits, because that will probably be the nail in my coffin here today, unless he does stay out. If so, his tyres are going to be on a knife edge, but he will probably be in a great position because I'll have to be doing about 1.2 seconds a lap on him. Well, I am chipping away at the lead margins. My AI teammate, whose result will not be counting, gets a lap by Snake Hunter as he peels into the pits. Now I just have to see what compound he comes out on, because he could be very, very dangerous. To be fair, only 13 laps. He could try and see it to the end on the mediums. If so, excellent strategy by the Aston Martin. As Snake Hunter comes out alongside the Haas just up the road, who's 7 seconds ahead. The longer he can hold him up, the better for me. As most of the cars ahead looking like they are just going to go to another set of mediums and then drive it to the end, which looks quite bad for me because I'm on the hards. Snake Hunter swiftly disposes of Jedi. Regang 28 seconds down the road, Max Perrin 31 down the road. I'm pretty sure likes of Thomas James, Mumbo Jumbo and Jedi will be pitting in the next few laps. Nico continues on for another. Snake Hunter though pulling away on the mediums. If he can get back to about 11 seconds ahead of me by the time he pits for softs, I think he's in a perfect place to win. Or not, if he chooses otherwise. If you tuned in with my Slipstream Racing League commentary on last Saturday, you saw the winning, no, not last Saturday, the Saturday beforehand for Bahrain, you saw the winning strategy was to about half the race on a set of mediums, the other half on a set of hards. If that's what Snake Hunter does, fair play. The only issue would be his very much dead mediums come the final corner. And currently how I'm fairly keeping up, not showing too poor pace, as Mumbo Jumbo is also on a set of hards, Thomas James on mediums. So Thomas James, out of anyone in the top 5, he is probably expected to pit again. Snake Hunter, if he drives it right, he can probably make it to the end. Now I just want to see how long the McLaren on the hards can hold Snake Hunter up for, because Jedi kinda let me down, didn't fall long enough. Even if it's just for one lap, I will take it, because I'm catching that McLaren by about a second a lap at the moment. As off goes Kinger. There's the Williams going for a bollard. He's again a lap down. Well, Snake Hunter only just got past. Now hoping that Mumbo Jumbo could pounce back with DRS assistance. If so, I'll be much grateful of that. In comes my robotic teammate. As Mumbo Jumbo fighting Snake Hunter now. Good for my race, not so good for Snake Hunters, as now I'm beginning to lure myself in with a personal best sector on my back as well. Middle sector not my best. Snake Hunter's dropped Mumbo Jumbo from his DRS range. And now just in comes the McLaren and in comes Thomas James. So it looked a certain two-stop for them. And I'm about 12 or so seconds clear of the Alpine. So if he wants a shot at me, he will have to be dropping me by about 1.5 a lap. As Nico and Snake Hunter look like they'll just be powering on to the line. They're in very good positions for top two. I'd say Nico pitted a tad too early, so pit stop almost guaranteed for him. Snake Hunter, however, pitted at the perfect time. He can just keep on with his day and take a win in the season opener from a fairly improbable 5th or 6th, I think it was. Yeah. On the kitchen side. I think if Nico is to go to the end, he's not going to be caught by either me or Snake Hunter. I'm catching Snake Hunter and barely catching the Ferrari. And I've seen Snake Hunter race many times. I know that this is a scenario where he's gonna keep going, because he knows if he doesn't, he's gonna miss out on a top 5 practically as a whole. And I'll just have to keep managing my pace in a way that I can catch and still attack him in the final few laps. Thomas James fastest lap 1:30.9, still not going quick enough to catch me by the line. As now into the middle sector I go, this tends to be where I catch the Aston the most each lap. The more I catch him, the more promising a win, well, a top 2 looks. However, not catching too much this time round. As now I'm really questioning if that Ferrari will be pitting. If he does, he will come out right behind me. That is how tight it is. So he could, and then he would just cruise to the line. I wouldn't really have much to defend with. As a look at my hearts, they are slowly but surely being eaten away. As there was about 7 tenths gain on that previous lap. Need more like this, well, less like that and more like the previous lap if I want a solid attempt. at beating the Aston Martin. Losing a second a lap to Thomas James behind, that means he'll be about 5 to 7 seconds back when it comes to the finish line, so I'm almost guaranteed a podium. Let's not drop it now though. Keep up with this pace and just see where it takes us, because we know we have pace to catch that Aston if we really put our minds to it. However, at the moment it's proving not to be enough pace. Yeah, neither of the two ahead will be pitting. So my work for P2 must be done on track. It will be a good season opener on my behalf. Some controversy in the early stages, collision with Tom Jota, wing damage, seeing me down in about 7th. Recovered up to 2nd, but then the 1 stop beats the 2 stop. In case of both Nico and Snake Hunter. But the gap's dropping, it's 2.5 seconds. There'll be 3 laps after this, so I will get about 1 attempt with DRS if I keep going this way. So let's just keep going. I'm not planning to give up, but as each lap passes, my hope is slightly fading. But then as my tyres get a bit more defeated, his is getting plenty more defeated, as the gap almost 2 seconds between the two of us entering lap 26. Lap 26, 2.4 seconds. Gonna burn a tiny bit more ERS here. As that Aston's getting very close now. Dropped it by almost a second this lap. Another second next lap gives me 2 laps to overtake. So let's just keep this pace up. It's looking very good for P2 in the season opener. It's a place up from where we started. It's a place down from where we wanted to be. But that's the joys with about 5-6 new names on this grid here today. 1.2 back, entering lap 27. We should get a dose of DRS on this lap. However, it will be in the final DRS zone, which is sector 2. Actually, never mind, I'm within a second now. So this is usage 1 of about 7. Gotta use them wisely. Just get close enough to overtake and then keep it. as its personal best sector 1 now. I'm all over the back of the Aston. Not going to intend on overtaking here. He's going to get a bit squirrelish. Going to follow the back of him so he can't drop behind. I've got the traction, unlike the Aston, and I've got the move. Into P2 we go on lap 27. Question is, can we hold on in the early stages of next lap? Because he will now have two attempts to attack with DRS. Got to use the battery wisely here. Don't want to burn too much up that I can't stay with him. Gonna get another shot at him to the outside, and I will be ahead before braking, and that's P2. This is best opportunity we have to completely put an end to this, but it's such a short lap. It's a minute 30. We're gonna have to defend into turn 10. It will mean we will be ahead to start lap 29, which is seen as the crucial lap, the lap which decides whether I will come home P2 or whether Snake Hunter will be P2. It's a battle which could span the whole season, with Nico pulling out blinders of strategies, but at the same time it could be a battle which only spans this race due to strategy conflict. I'm gonna fully use up battery to give him the lowest shot possible of overtaking into turn 4, because I've got an 8/10 advantage as we go over the DRS detection point. That's going to be easy defense into turn 4, and the gap's now about 9/10 going through turn 4, a second basically at the end of the first sector. It's a push lap. That's gave me P2 here. However, defeated by a one stop over 2 stop. Nico, he's managed them tyres absolutely beautifully, in a way that he's managed to get him 20 or so laps on one set of hards. Snake Hunter's also managed his mediums very well to play a very dodgy strategy game in order to see him on the podium from 5th. If Nico pitted again, surely he would have had a very good chance at winning. He's gone wide trying to push for dear life, but Nico wins. I'll round off the final corner. I won in pre-season in the rain at Monza, and I will come home P2 from P3 in Bahrain. Come on, I'm happy with that. Could have been better, but the scenarios we had to go through, the strategy we had to use as a result, it's all gone full circle, and I'm happy with that outcome. Mumbo Jumbo will be 5th behind Thomas James, who's 4th. Jedi takes P6 in for the Haas, Tom Jota being the sole RB in the end after Parasol failed to appear. He will come home P7. Regang, the wrong setup maestro. He was on a Monaco setup here. He'll score some points. He'll be P8, however, for Regang. Max Perrin, he will come home 9th, picking up a point for Williams, then his teammate a lap down from the rest of the field. But there will be your podium sitter. Boy oh boy, that was a masterclass of a drive. I got drive of the day. I'll be honest, I'll take it, as Nico will get the win. Here's your last glance of the grid here today. Nico wins, followed by me 19.5 seconds back, however an extra pit stop therefore leading the race to go in his favour. Then Snake Hunter in 3rd after very late overtake by myself to put myself up into P2. Thomas James 4th. He had higher expectations into this race after our previous battles, however them expectations did not see out as he comes home P4. Mumbo Jumbo P5 from P6. Jedi moves up 1 from P7. Tom Jota, it was a nightmare of a drive, spun out on lap 1, had damage throughout the race. He comes home P7 from P2. Regang goes up 1 from P9. Max Perrin, he comes home 9th. Kinger comes home 10th. But yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed. I'll post these standings later. Goodbye.